with MC8 on Grabbing a Stack about how he had the Duck Down and Black Moon lyrics in there and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that was yet another connection with the East Coast to him that I
Exactly.
thought was great. And I was very surprised that that was on there. I was also surprised that with Grabbing a Stack, the beat. So did you send him a variety of beats, or you just said this could be
Whoa,
this
that
one?
that that was it, man. That was honestly the start of no, Yakub was, and then that was, and then after, so I did Yakub with Rashad, and then did Grab in the Stack. And I was like, okay, he's gonna craft some of the, he's gonna craft the sound for the album. Okay, so once I did those two, I knew, okay, I'm gonna get about two, three more, and then he's gonna have the meat of the album. Pause. But nah, man. I really, it was just, I don't know, man. It had that West Coast feel. You know, when you think of the cash flow, the non stuff, you're just thinking it's East Coast and whatnot. You know, so really, I wasn't expecting eight, man. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that beat right there, man. It just, cause makes big beats. He makes beats like those style joints. You know, a few of them joints were like, with Ty Dollar, that joint was big, like you hear it in the basketball stadium. So uh once I heard that beat, and again, we get the mix done, we hear eight on it. Matter of fact, eight, he did a long verse, so I chopped it up. You know, I did a long verse too, so our verses were the same length, I believe, but then again, you know, I chopped his up and put a hook in, and you know, mix it in like that, man. But I believe it came out right.
Nah, Grabbing a Stack is a great record, and I like the fact that it's at the end. It's more kind of tag team. How you got how and I imagine you said
Yeah,
you edited it there. I guess.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And another pleasant surprise on Cash Flow, Buddha, and Shelter was the Ramadan Kyrie because you got Chiali and Royal Flush on there.
yeah.
And before we get to their participation with yours, you talk about the risks you were taking and you wasn't even caking. So this is something you and I have talked about over the years. I've talked with many people, and this is a recurring theme. But as we are in the today era, why do you think people still make these crazy risks for such a small reward?
Man, well, sometimes the small reward is again survival. So it depends on what that reward is. If you're a rapper or whatever, and you get in the game, and your reward is a chain and all that stuff that comes with being an artist, then that's it. But some people's reward again is something to eat. You know what I mean? Some socks, a coat, or you know what I mean. So. Yeah, it just depends on what you're looking for out of it. You feel what I'm saying?
Okay, fair enough. And also on Ramadan Kyrie, Chi Ali talks about he's a better father than he thought he would be.
Yeah.
So have you guys talked a lot about fatherhood or not at all? Or
Again, Chi Ali, man. I want to say, me and Chi Ali, we hung out many times because Drez is my man. So I'm hanging out with Drez all the time. Chi Ali right there. But you know, I'm not running up on Chi Ali. I'm the biggest Chi Ali fan, but I'm not running up on Chi Ali like, yo, I'm a rapper. Here's my demo. Just kick it or whatever. So you know, when he came through and dropped the verse, that was probably the first time we met on the music tip or whatnot. And there wasn't too much back and forth. He had the song for a few days, and he knew what he was going to spit. And yo, he came through and knocked that shit out the park, bro. So yeah, big up Chi Ali, man. I hope. I know he has some stuff with Jada Kiss, but I hope he continues to knock stuff out. You know what I mean? He's down here in D.C., and I just, you know, it just depends because it's a lot of work to put stuff together, to put a project together. Now, maybe a single, even a single could be some work, but to put together like a 10, 16 song album, that's a lot of work. And sometimes who wants to do that shit? Especially again, when we're talking about the payback. I own my own record label. So for me, the payback is maybe 30, 40 years and beyond, because hopefully this business stays in my family. But for a lot of artists that don't have that, and they're just putting out a one-off, no catalog, it's like, damn, is it really worth it or whatever? Or maybe a lot of artists that had music out in the 90s that really haven't they didn't get the ownership back. So again, is it worth putting out music now when the music that I'm really famous for in the 90s I don't even own? You know what I mean? So again, I don't know people's situations, but I just know there's a lot of things that contribute to maybe if it's worth putting. I mean, even myself, man, like is it worth doing? But I like creating. A lot of songs you hear are ideas that I had to pull out. That again, you see in the back, I got Book of Rhymes right there over my shoulder. And believe me, every page was not used over my career. So, I had to go back through those pages, organize them. Okay, these are the love songs. Let me put these love song bars over here. Okay, these are the gangster joints. Let me put the gangster joints over there. So, and this may be the last 2 years of just going through stuff and just like, okay, I'm not, if I do happen to pass away and meet my demise, them bars won't be in them damn books. Them shit's gonna be on wax. So that's been important to me. So as far as Chi Ali, man, I just hope that he continues to do stuff. At Royal Flush, he's out here working, man. Royal Flush is on everything. He's on the diamond joint, you know what I mean? But like I said, man, everybody's story is different, and everybody's motivation is different.
Yeah. And with Ramadan Kyrie as well, Rashad Thomas did that one,
Yeah,
and it has the music that I think most people associate with the Explosive by Dr. Dre. That's a heavy element in the song.
yeah.
So when you hear that and you know it's from such a song that has such prominence, how does that affect you, if at all, when you're crafting what you're going to do on the song?
Uh, well, you hear a lot of that as far as people maybe taking a sample that's familiar, but a lot of people take familiar samples and don't flip it, and it sounds like shit. And so it's really doesn't sound dope. So I kept going back to that beat because again, I'm underground. You feel what I'm saying? So I kept going back to that beat, and then eventually you just be like, "Yo, Sans, you really gonna put out an album, and leave this beat just sitting, man?"
No,
like
it's a great beat. And to your point, Rashad really flipped it and add some different elements to it to
yeah,
where it doesn't just sound like he just took the instrumental of
yeah.
Explosive from Dr. Dre.
Exactly. So again, it's just like sometimes you have to make a business decision. That was definitely a business decision. Like, dude, you idiot, man. You hear that? Put something together. That was the last song that I completed on the album.
Hmm.
So it was just like, dude, you're not gonna leave. You're not. I had 12 songs. Like, dude, you're not putting out this album. That beat's gonna be sitting there on the fuck no. So I put together that last song.
Okay. And then as a producer, Shotty by the Door, you got Sadat X and Edo G on there.
Yeah, yeah.
So producers do a lot of different things. Sometimes I think people don't really understand the various roles of a producer, or sometimes producers only do one or two things. But for you, with Sadat X and Edo G in particular, with Shotty by the Door, did you do you ever, when you're getting these collaborations, give any revise the lyrics or feedback, or is it more or less you try to work with what they give you, or how does that work?
This song right here, I had the verse done. Matter of fact, I tried to kick the verse over, and it didn't sound as good as the original verse, so I kept the original verse. It didn't sound as raw, but yeah, man, that again, that was just a beat I made, and just putting it together. I had my verse and I had the hook. So you send it to Sadat and IDOG, that's like that's like sending it to LeBron and AD, man. You know what I mean? Them are vets, brother. So it's they gonna do the work. You know what I'm saying? So it was no, and the thing about it is I'm still listening to Ido's verse and hearing things in it that I didn't. So I'm still like listening to the verses and hearing things when I re-listen to the project. So yeah, when you're working with vets like that, you kind of just do your little thing, send it to them, and really it's a layup after that.
Yeah, well, shout out Ed OG. I did some great interviews with him. You can check out the links there.